Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the top 3 signs that whether or not if a person should or should not take a break from social media platforms. About a couple weeks ago, I found out even for myself that I needed to take a brief moment from social media platforms. So what I mean by social media is necessarily the immediate ones that I usually count on. I'm talking about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. Now, although YouTube is a social media platform, technically, I'm only talking about the ones that deals with certain content that you just scroll all the way down, although you can scroll down with YouTube, but I'm mostly talking about with those platforms in general. So without further ado, let's get rocking and rolling. Now, the first sign that I will say that a person should take a break from social media is if you are distracted. If it is distracting your work, it is distracting important work that needs to be done. When you have social media as a distraction, that can take away from work that can be done, and it can take away from being productive, and it'll basically influence people to procrastinate and not be able to do their work. So this is part of the reason why I got rid of the social media. I didn't get rid of it completely. I took a break from it. And the reason why I took a break from it was because I was realizing that it was taking away from important work that needed to be done. And even partly, I would usually go to social media just to distract myself so I won't do that necessary thing that I needed to do. So it is that's the very first one that I like to say is it is a major distraction. Now, if social media is distracting your work, then that is when you need to stop and think about whether or not if you want to take a break from it temporarily or to kind of get rid of it to kind of just clear your mind. Now, the second sign that a person should reconsider about taking a break in social media is competitiveness. Now, what I mean by competitiveness is if you see or view the different platforms as competition. And what I mean by competition is that you start to see other people's content, and then you'll feel that you have to compensate just a lot of stuff. So naturally, if you see someone else doing something that you think that is much better than yours, so you'll try to go out all your way. So you'll go out all your way to try to beat that person so you can get up to the top, so you can climb up that ladder. This is self-destructive by comparing yourself to other people and even comparing them to their success to yours. And even sometimes this can happen if you are just starting out something brand new, and if you are just even if it can be harmless in a way too, because at first when you see other people with their content, you will see it as inspiration, but over time sometimes it can be a little hindrance if you attempt to compare yourself to those particular people that you are looking up to, or even just watching just to get some kind of advice. Now, I can relate to this second pointer because I had the tendency to compare myself to other people, just even big people who are even YouTubers, or even sometimes people from Instagram, like the number of followers I will see or the type of content and how consistent they are, and I would have the need to compare myself to them and basically disregarding all the successes that I have done. Social media should not be seen as competition. It should be seen as a way to connect with people and to just gather inspiration. But if it is becoming, in your mind, if you're thinking that it's becoming too competitive, then that is a sign that you need to take a break, because when you think things are way too competitive for you, that is basically that, what I like to say it is like, that's your ego coming out. Your ego is showing. And Your ego is coming out in a way, in a sense where you feel the need to be recognized, the need to be validated, to seek approval out of external factors, which is social media. Social media is an external factor. It is an external thing that we cannot really have control over, so to speak. And especially, we do not have control over what people put out there, whatever content that they're making through their accounts. So when you see things very too competitive, you need to sit down and take a break and just take in and just sit with yourself, even if it's very difficult, because when you take a break from social media, you're gonna deal with some withdrawals, and having that withdrawals, it's really strong and it's very intense. Now, it depends on the individual if they can stop and if they don't have a problem, or there are some people who feel that if they cannot take a break, they feel that they're missing out on something, or they feel like that they're missing the latest trend. Now, if you think that things are way too competitive from what you're seeing from social media, then that is a sign that you need to either stop or take a break from social media. Now, the third and final sign that I like to talk about, which is very important and very crucial, that I wish to just even bring it up, is it takes away the present moment. Now, think about it. When you're on social media, you are just sitting down and just scrolling either on your phone, tablet, computer, whatever it is. You're sitting down and you're just focusing on just different content, and you're also taking in a lot of information. It's kind of like you're channeling different kind of sources, and sometimes this can cause information overload. And when you are bombarded by so much information that you're seeing online, whether it's inspiration from inspirational quotes, this can be different key little terms that people would like to remind people, which is very great. I'm not against that. But when you see that all the time for a long period of time, it takes away from you seeing things around yourself, seeing it as it is, or just to be present, like right now, and even just paying attention to your breathing, or listening to the sensations of your body, paying attention, listening to your body and how it's feeling, or even just to think about what kind of emotions that you are feeling. And even sometimes too, we have a tendency to want to go through social media when we're talking to other people, such as our family members, friends, when we go out to eat, or if we're going out to spend quality time with someone. We have a tendency to go and look at our devices and scroll through down the social media. And I think this takes away the present moment, especially when you're not connecting with other people personally in reality, and not just on the internet. Now, what I mean by it takes away the present moment is that you sometimes will forget the things that you already have, or even just being grateful just to have the little things around you, even if it doesn't mean anything to you, even just the littlest things. You need to just take it in and just accept it as it is, as it now, It takes away the present moment. Make sure that you're in the present moment, and not to let social media take over your life, or don't let it control you. And just be present. Remain to be present in this moment. So that's all I want to talk about today. If you like this content, please feel free to share it with somebody who you think that could benefit out of this. And it is great to just know, to even catch yourself if you are having trouble with social media, or if you feel down, or even if your mood changes. It's just like it's a roller coaster. It just goes into waves like this, just like waves, like an ocean. It just goes up and down, just how life is in general. Things go up and down. Everything doesn't stay static. Everything is dynamic. Everything is changing. So that's all I want to talk about today. If you like this, again, please feel free to share it to somebody. And if you like this content, please feel free to check out my other videos. And as always, I'll see you next time. Take care.